Paul, McGuire, Grimes, ABC, Minneapolis. Ariana, it is so great talking to you again. The last time I talked to you was for the prom, and your career has just skyrocketed, and it's been such a treat to see you just flourish. So thank you for the time today.
Oh, thank you. And it's nice to see you again. Yeah.
Yes, you too. Oh my God, this is fantastic. You were so great on the Tonys too. But let's talk about House of Spoils. Now, you do a lot of the cooking in this movie, and I know that you spent a lot of time talking to women in the restaurant industry. What did you take away from those conversations?
Well, I think, most importantly, it's like there's a lot of work being done and a lot of work still to do, to create these safer work environments. And I don't think that that's, necessarily singular to this specific industry, the culinary industry. I think that's probably true of a lot of the workforce and especially in entertainment. Um, I think I was so fascinated by what they had to say and tried to infuse that into the character. And it wasn't always just what they had to say. It was things that I read and watched and then I took a crash course in, I don't know, the work that goes on in the kitchen with Chef Aisha down at Chouquette here in Chelsea in Manhattan. And that was so eye-opening and a little terrifying. And I was like, can I do this? But I was really inspired because at the end of the day, women rock and we should run everything. Just saying.
Yes, and we're gonna do that in November. Not to go there, but we're gonna do that in
Whoop,
November.
whoop.
Yes. Okay.
I
Well,
already voted. I voted the other day and I was very proud to vote for a woman, put it that way.
absolutely. Now, you were just singing, and I wish we could sing this whole interview, but I know music is so important to you. What were you listening to as part of your character prep?
I love you for this question. It was varied. It was so varied. I listened to La Triviata for a section of it. There was also um, my friend Chloe Flower. She's a wonderful pianist. She had a new album out at the time, and so there were elements there, specifically a track called Love Story, and I used those tracks for like the big cooking exploration moments, if that makes sense. Because honestly, you'll see Chef do this a lot. Like she's like taking in the different ingredients. It's really fascinating. And then I listened to a lot of heavy metal to create anxiety. Um, and I can't get no satisfaction. That was like a warm up song. So you're
Oh my
welcome.
God. I love warm-up songs, especially as actors. I used to act a lot, so I had music was so important for that. Do you
Yeah.
believe in old like haunted houses and spaces that could be haunted? And have you had any like strange, unexplainable happenings happen to you?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I absolutely believe in the spirit world. Um, I Honestly, it sounds so creepy, and I just know every people will probably drag me for it. But I'm in spaces all the time where the lights just suddenly flicker, and it's not a power surge, like, or there'll suddenly be like a really cold gust of wind, but it'll just stay right beside me. So you take that to mean what you think it means,
That it's
and
real.
I promise you, I'm a fairly sane person.
I believe it. I mean, theaters can be very haunted spaces, and those old Broadway houses are like
Absolutely.
haunted. Yes.
What do you think we have a ghost light for? Come
Exactly.
on.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, I wish I could keep talking to you about theater. When you're working on a story like this, does it give you a like newfound thought of like how we get our food, how it's sustained, and like maybe the choices that you're making?
Yes, absolutely 100%. I like throughout the making of this was constantly brought back to, the idea of reciprocity and respect and like we should respect the land and the animals. If you are going to eat meat, it's like there's a real respect that comes along with that in my opinion. And there's because it literally it's the reciprocity of how we both give and get nourishment. um I have an herb garden now. Anytime I go into a restaurant, I go in with so much grace because I now have a much better understanding of the amount of work, heart, and energy goes into the running of that restaurant, the making the perfect meal, and also trying to create wonderful ambiance and a wonderful experience for the patrons. It's incredible, important work because food brings us together. And I think that is to be respected. And so I hope, if nothing else, after you watch this film, you know, you might not eat for a couple of days, and I'm sorry about that. But I hope you start to feel like, oh, yeah, let me walk in with grace.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you, Ariana, are going to go out for dinner, are you choosing a Michelin restaurant? Or are you going to go get that burger at the dive bar and just gnaw away
Oh,
at it?
I mean, I'm more of a dive bar kind of gal. I'm not gonna lie. I love a bar burger. But I love good hole in the wall restaurants. Like in my neighborhood, one of the best like spaces to get Indian food, like authentic Indian food. It's not a Michelin star restaurant. It is a hole in the wall. And so, but I do appreciate the experience of a Michelin star restaurant. But probably you're gonna catch me in a hole in the wall.
I love it. We're going to be there in New York in January, so I'll have to find that restaurant. So I'm excited about that. I got the wrap. Thank you for the time. I loved Wish. So I just want you to know, like, that was a really great movie. Loved it. And of
Thank
course, the
you.
West Side Story is iconic and a masterpiece. So thank you for that, too.
Thank you so much. I
Uh,
appreciate
You're
you. Good to
welcome. I
see
appreciate
you.
you. So thank you for much. Thank you for what you do for like the theater scene and the Tonys and all that jazz. So thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.